185,000 times they had to pull that handle and had to ink it every time it went through the press.
We're excited to have you come to the Crandall Historical Printing Museum. You're going to start by coming into the Gutenberg room. Here you're going to see a wooden press that is identical to the one in Mainz, Germany, and here's that press. This printing press, by the way, is in a room that if Gutenberg walked into this room right now, he would be comfortable.
That ink from there over onto just the tops of my letters. That's when he came up with ink balls. He just took a bowl, put a handle on it, stuffed it with horsehair.
Gutenberg, when he printed that first Bible in the world, he printed it from type that he made, pouring metal into a hand caster, 80% lead, 13% antimony, 7% tin. Of course, he learned that from his father, who was a goldsmith.
And we've heated that metal up here to 600 degrees using electricity. Of course, Gutenberg didn't have electricity. He had to build the fire in here and make it hot enough to melt that metal. 600 degrees, that metal now runs just like water. And so we'll ladle a little bit out here and we can pour it on the concrete here, and we're making a little puddle. Now this cold concrete will absorb a lot of that heat, and so that little liquid puddle is now one solid piece.
And he built a printing shop that had a wooden press in it and had type that he was able to set one letter at a time, that he printed 180 Bibles, 40 of them on animal skin and 140 of them on paper.
So it was 1,280 pages long, and so a type that big and that many pages would have made a single volume about that big. And so he had to divide it into 2 volumes.
Then what you're going to do is go into the second room. In the second print shop, you're going to see the Benjamin Franklin shop. And by the way, this press that you see of Benjamin Franklin is one that we had built with the blueprints of Benjamin Franklin's press that's in the Smithsonian. We were able to get that blueprints from the Smithsonian, and we copied those and made a press identical to Benjamin Franklin. So in this room, you're going to see the press. The type is the same that Gutenberg invented, one letter at a time, cast with a little hand caster similar to Gutenberg's.
And he's able to set the type and print it up so that there are many copies available in just the next few days. And we can actually print the Declaration of Independence here, just like it was done there in Philadelphia in 1776.
And then we're going to take you into the Crandall print shop and show you how the Book of Mormon was printed.
This press is a Peter Smith hand press, sometimes called an acorn press. Notice the shape of that press? Shaped like an acorn. People called it an acorn press.
The first Book of Mormon was printed in a little print shop in Palmyra, owned by E.B. Grandin. E.B. Grandin had an iron press similar to this one right here. In fact, this is a replica of that iron press. It weighs almost a ton.
We open that up and look at that, and we're going to say, ooh, isn't that a pretty print job?
He then set type just like Gutenberg did, exactly almost to the day 380 years earlier. Gutenberg invented movable type. 380 years later, the Book of Mormon was printed using movable type and cast with an identical hand caster that Gutenberg invented 380 years earlier.
Matrix and a line of type's going to come out, and this guy's going to come down and pick all those up again and take them up and distribute it back in the magazine. Watch this happen. Goes down in front of that molten lead, and a plunger plunges into there, and then this guy comes down, come on down, and picks all of those up and takes them up and distributes it back into the magazine.
We are telling the story of the restoration of the gospel. The gospel was here on this earth for a short period of time, and in order for there to be a restoration of the gospel, there had to be a Book of Mormon. Something very important had to happen for there to be a restoration of the gospel, and that something was the invention of printing. From the printing of the first Bible in the world to the printing of the first Book of Mormon in the world, the gospel was lost and restored because of the invention of printing. And this museum tells that entire story.